The dust has finally settled on the IPL auction, and now it's time for the fans and for all of us to turn our attention on the Indian national team. They are going to be facing off against South Africa in a 2-match test series. It's going to be a great test series. I have Boria, Ishan and Debashish with me to look at how this test series could pan out. First of all, to begin with, could this be the final dance for Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma?
Yeah, I mean, this is India's final frontier. Make no mistake, you won in England, you won in Australia and twice in 2018 and 2021. You've never won in South Africa. And these two test matches, Boxing Day and New Year, very, very important test matches. One of the most important. For me, red ball cricket is always more important than any white ball contest. So yes, final dance for Rohit and Virat, possibly their last chance. Because, in South Africa, they've got an opportunity because South Africa is also looking a little unsettled. Boxing Day and New Year, India has a good side. Yes, no Mohammad Shami, but Rohit Sharma as captain. Last time I thought Virat Kohli's side also had a great chance. We were up 1-0 and thereafter went on to lose. We couldn't defend 240 in the final test match, which I thought was an opportunity lost. So to answer, yes, we've got a very, very good chance.
Before I get to you two, I would like to tell everyone who's watching, Shubhayan Chakrabarti, our very own, is already on his way to South Africa. He will land tomorrow and he'll get you all the updates from Ground Zero.
Actually lands tonight.
Yeah,
he lands today.
Oh, yeah.
So you will get Shubhayan's updates from today. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I mean, Boreda is absolutely right. This Indian team is really, really strong, and obviously you'll give the upper hand to the Indian team in this match for sure, in this test match. The South African team obviously is not as strong as it used to be, Gagi. So I think this is where the Indians could possibly, absolutely leverage on, because they know that, hey, we are the better squad out there, and we could actually go on and win this test match. So obviously there'll be pressure, but I think it's utilizing the pressure in the right direction and playing with absolute freedom. And if they do that, I think they're going to have a great test match all around. The South Africans have a great bowling lineup, so that's the only worry the Indians will have. Fast, fiery, bouncy wickets. So obviously the batters will have to be a little careful because nobody likes facing bouncers at 145, 150.
Centurion and Rabada. He's right.
Yeah.
Centurion and Rabada. And Gerald Coetzee. I mean, but let's the point that she said, Rohit and Virat. The one thing that might just be very critical to this test match is KL Rahul as wicketkeeper.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant move. And he coming out and saying that taking that responsibility that you would like to keep wickets. Means remember the series that he played against England in England. He was top notch in that series. And talking about this series, Gargi, if you ask me, this WTC 23, 22, 25 cycle, you have this series followed by the one against England and next year in Australia. These are the three series that will decide if India are to make it to the WTC final for 3 consecutive times. Because obviously South Africa, the Proteas side are no more the South African side when it comes to they had to produce some outstanding fast bowlers, the likes of Brett Schulz or Fanny de Villiers or Alan Donald.
Brian
McMillan. So South Africa have been relentless. Relentless. Even the great Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid, they have failed. VVS Lakshman, they have failed to win a series in South Africa. So therein lies the biggest challenge. Yes, last series India were 1-0 ahead, and to be faltering, to be losing those next 2 test matches and eventually losing the series. That is still cursing.
You asked Rohit Sharma. After the World Cup final defeat, this is Rohit Sharma's platform.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's one match or one series where he wants to deliver after all the drama with Mumbai Indians, all the drama over captaincy, this is where he belongs. One time he told me if there's one department where I've underachieved, it's test match cricket. His dad used to love him, watch test match cricket, Rohit Sharma. This is Rohit Sharma's platform, and he's been India's best batter. And I keep in mind Virat Kohli, and I say this: Rohit Sharma has been India's best test match batter in the recent past. He was the difference in England when we got 2-2, then we lost, but he was the difference. If you think Australia, it was of course Rishabh Pant. We are missing Pant. And that's where KL Rahul as wicketkeeper becomes very important.
And I think Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli are coming back into the test squad fresh, which will be really important. So obviously the mental space will be fresh, physically fit and fresh. So I think they're obviously going to go out there and bring their best foot forward. And I think Rohit Sharma will want to prove a point, because after that World Cup defeat, it was disappointing. It's a tough pill to swallow. So here's an opportunity for him to again, leave this Indian side and possibly go on and win the test match.
Mohammad Shami, a proven performer for India.
Yeah.
We've seen what he can do in Test cricket. We've seen his recent performance in the World Cup as well. Is this going to be the same Indian squad without him?
Difficult one. You got a Jasprit Bumrah who will actually step up because you did
Yes.
not have Bumrah for the WTC, and just before that as well for a year you did not have him. Mohammad Siraj is a much improved bowler, and in Mukesh Kumar you have a semi-Mohammad Shami, similar kind in South African conditions, and you've got a Prasidh Krishna who's tall, will hit the deck. So it's not a bad attack. And the reason India has been competitive overseas in Test cricket since Arun took over as bowling coach and now Paras, is because of the fact that we have taken 20 wickets consistently. This is yet again a sign. With Jaddu and Ashwin, I think Jaddu will play. Bumrah, Siraj, Mukesh or Prasidh, you have a side capable of taking 20 wickets.
Yeah, obviously it's a huge blow for India. It's considering that Shami has taken 48 wickets in South Africa, so that's a big number. Means obviously, and Shami in this form, what a form he was in the World Cup, to be carrying forward and then that ankle injury means even he would also be cursing himself. Means obviously he did play that World Cup with that injury, taking painkillers. So I think Shami's absence will be a big blow. It's a huge setback. Yes, Bumrah means now all depends on Bumrah. He has to lead. Means obviously Mohammad Siraj as well. But still, I feel Shami on that Centurion wicket, Super Sport Park wicket, or the Newlands wicket, he would have been the difference between the two sides.
Ishan.
No, I mean, I think the points have been said already, but I think Bumrah will be the spearhead bowler, absolutely. Mohammad Shami, again, obviously will be missed because he was in such great form. I think he was a better bowler than Bumrah in that World Cup. So, obviously, having said that, you would want Mohammad Shami in your Test match squad. So, Mohammad Shami will be missed, but Bumrah is a experienced player. He's obviously had the leverage of playing all around the world, and you'd want to prove a point in South Africa as well. And he's got the pace, he's got the swing, and he's got that action which can trouble batsmen as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Before we sat down to shoot this video, Boria here was reciting the story of how Jasprit Bumrah became the Test bowler that he is. Please.
Yeah, I mean, it was in Kolkata, 2017, when India was playing New Zealand, and Ravi Shastri and Bharat Arun were going to this puja function. At that point in time, Bishwarup Dev was a CAB official. He's still involved in cricket administration, and it was his puja. And they were going there, and in the car, Ravi told Bharat to call Jasprit and say, you will play for India in South Africa as a Test match bowler. And at that point in time, everybody had said, oh, weird action, awkward action, never playing Test cricket. So this guy, I mean, he was sort of straight-jacketed as no Test match. And Ravi changed that. And Bharat called Jasprit and said, you're not supposed to tell anyone because Ravi doesn't want that. Ravi wants to keep it under wraps. And then Ravi told Bumrah that you can well be India's best Test match bowler. Yes. That's how it started. And we know, and I asked Virat in an interview at my book launch that how good was Bumrah. And he said, I asked De Villiers. And he said he came and hit the bat really hard. So the first debut series, 5 wickets, remember? Fantastic from Jasprit Bumrah. And it's a homecoming, 2018, 2024.
Yes.
So Jasprit Bumrah going back to South Africa, he too will want to win this.
Jasprit Bumrah coming back, thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a huge thing for India. Obviously, he himself is. I think the biggest motivation for this Indian team is to win a Test series in South Africa.
Yeah, final frontier.
Final frontier means obviously we have done it in Australia, we have done it in England, we have done it, and obviously another country where India. Means obviously Rahul Dravid led India did win our series in New Zealand, but South Africa, I don't know, somehow or other, we have played 6 series in South Africa, but yet to win a Test series. So we have won Test matches, but all that matters is winning a Test series, and for that to happen, we need to pick 20 wickets. And to take 20 wickets, who would be your go-to bowler? It has to be Jasprit Bumrah.
Every time I think he and I were there for the WTC final, 76 for 3 day 1.
Yeah.
And India was in control, and that's when Australia, Travis Head 100, Steve Smith 100 match gone. If you think Bumrah there, we sprayed the ball around. They just took away, sort of easy runs, easy bump. And Bumrah there is the difference. So India, I mean, think of the major series win. Australia 18, Bumrah. 2021, yes, it wasn't Bumrah, but after the first part. So Bumrah is huge for India.
Jaddu and Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja and R. Ashwin will play after a very long time in Test cricket together. But before we get to that, Ashwin is very close, 9 wickets away from 500 wickets in Test cricket. Is he the greatest ever? Devashish, why don't you start?
Yeah, obviously, and there's a good bit of camaraderie between Ashwin and Nathan Lyon, who just recently reached a milestone. But yes, Ashwin, I don't reckon that he will get enough opportunity in South Africa. Maybe the England series, home series, 5 Test matches, definitely big chance for him to get to that milestone.
Oh, he'll get there.
Definitely, he will get to that milestone. But South Africa, I don't think India will be playing 2 spinners. Means in that case, in overseas conditions in recent times, Jadeja has been your frontline spinner.
So you think even in Newland's India will go in with 4-1? Newland's recent times helping spin. You think 5 bowlers or 4 fast?
That has been the biggest dilemma for this Indian team management. WTC, India did not play Ashwin. They should have played Ravichandran Ashwin in that test match. So I think they need to plan well, they need to read the wicket well. That will be very crucial. Means if you are to win a series, you need to read the conditions and the wicket well and pick your 11. Means who you reckon would win you that test match.
And quite a number of left-hand batters in the South African lineup.
Absolutely.
Ravi Ashwin
And he can extract that bounce, Ravichandran Ashwin. And the experience, the wealth of experience he carries.
Look, when and we've talked about this. In Australia, for example, 2021, it was Ravi Ashwin who made the difference by picking Steve Smith. He got under Steve Smith's skin.
Yes.
He's a different ball game, thinking all of this.
He's an extremely smart cricketer. So overall, he thinks the batsman out most of the times, and I think that's what he's going to do in this Test match as well. And talking about the Minds rule, I think everyone would like to see him achieve that, but obviously it's again about getting as many opportunities. If he gets that, then 100%. I think he's going to go out there and make the most out of it. And whether he's the best or not, that's extremely debatable. But he's right up there. I think.
There's no debate. I mean, you're talking about Harbhajan Singh, you're talking about Erapalli Prasanna, you're talking about only off spinners.
Okay.
And when you bring other spinners into the mix, it becomes even more interesting. Anil Kumble. But Ravi Ashwin, right there, in terms of number of matches he's won for India, the strike rate, the number of 5-fers, and then you add 500s and stuff. Ravichandran Ashwin is right at the top.
And then, of course, we have to talk about and shift our attention to South Africa. South Africa scored a little bit. Lungi Ngidi has an injury concern. There was an asterisk next to his name. And Anrik Nokia's out. What do you think about that?
Huge blow for South Africa. Obviously, South Africa would have loved to have Anrik Nokia. Much more than Ngidi. Obviously, Rabada, now with Godse coming up. Godse, just imagine Godse, Nokia and Rabada. That would have been,
and Janssen.
And Janssen, Marco Janssen. They would have been relentless. Now, in their own territory, means it would have made Indian batters' life, I won't say difficult rather. So I think Nokia missing out, so it will be Rabada. It will be Rabada and Godse. Marco Janssen, yes, he did make his debut in that series, 2018 series, but then still I feel South Africa will be have a setback with the absence of Nokia.
I think that batting is fragile. There's a good bowling attack. Ishan mentioned this. I think the batting is not the same as earlier. So when I think of the Jacques Kallises of the world, and now when I look at that batting lineup, India can make inroads. If there's one South African side which is beatable, it is this side. Mulder, Janssen, Rabada and Cheryl Kudze along with Keshav Maharaj, that attack is potent, but it's not an attack that is impossible to score against. It's a 50-50 series.
Will India have a hard time?
Of course with the ball. I mean, look, in the first test match, you've got some time to acclimatize. Your team went there, the white ball guys went there early. Rohit, Virat and the rest of the test match specialists have gone. You've got some time, but Rabada against India in Centurion. Rabada Centurion is a handful. So you've got which overseas will be easy? It won't be, right? Against any Sena, either New Zealand or England or Australia or South Africa. But that's why this is the final frontier. Who do it?
Absolutely.
Ishan,
yes, I mean, absolutely. I think they're going to miss Anrik a lot because, there's one, the big difference between facing a ball that's clicked at 140 and one that's clicked at 150. And he's someone who can bowl at 150 on a regular basis. So obviously, you'd want someone like that steaming in, bowling at 150, on a consistent basis because it's a massive difference. And the Indian batters obviously would struggle facing a Cherry being clicked at 150. So his absence will definitely hurt the team a lot. But they have someone like Rabada as well, who has all the experience. So I think they're going to try and bank on Rabada as much as possible. But again, the batting is just not as strong as it used to be. So here's an opportunity for someone like Bumrah, for someone like Siraj to come out there and actually shine and make their presence felt.
Absolutely.
Okay, and before we wrap up, final thoughts on South Africa's bowling lineup and how it could fare for the Indian batters.
Obviously, South Africa, Test match. It's a different ball game altogether. It's not a white ball game. Test match. It's always you have to win the sessions. You have to seize the opportunity. That is where you win a test match or lose a test match. So India needs to seize the opportunities. Any opportunities they need to cash in. That is where you win a test match. So I think South Africa playing at home, yes, they will feel. Obviously, keeping in mind that they will be missing the Nokia, but they have a Coetzee now. So I think perfect replacement for Nokia. I think. They look brittle as far when it comes to batting, but in the last series, if you remember, Rassie van der Dusen played a very good knock in the Test series. Their captain, he needs to lead from the front. Temba Bavuma needs to Aiden Markram, another guy, he needs to bring in that consistency in Test match. So I think their batting relies on these 3-4 batters. Obviously Bavuma, Markram, Rassie van der Dusen. I would still reckon that India have a very good chance of winning this Test series.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the Indians have a better squad overall, so obviously they will back themselves to win this Test match. South Africa, obviously playing in home conditions, have the home support, will have that sort of leverage behind them. But the Indians, with the squad that they have, everyone's been talking that this is possibly the best Indian team that's been, established over the last 2 years. So here's an opportunity for them to literally go out there and win this Test match. So.
Yeah, these two test matches are special. Every time you play a Boxing Day test, either in South Africa or in Australia, it's an occasion. At some point in time, you guys, Devashish has been there, both you and Ishan need to go and experience it, a Boxing Day test, a New Year test. It's a special occasion. It gives you a lift. And as I said, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, the two absolute legends. Virat Kohli, perhaps the greatest of our generation. He scored some of the best hundreds in South Africa. That 150 that Virat Kohli got in South Africa was one of the greatest knocks I have seen. Rohit Sharma in recent times, you would want them. If one thing they want to do after that World Cup final loss, it's this Test series victory. It'll be a kind of a balm, You want India to win.
On that note, we will wrap up this episode from us. That's it from us, from Rev Sports. Stay tuned because Shubha and Chakrabarti will be bringing you all the updates from South Africa.
The iconic Wankhede Stadium, always a good place to be. A women's test match here after 40 years. 83-84 was the last time the Indian women played a test match here, and what a place to be. As far as the test series is concerned, it's against Australia. What I also feel is that, the big girls are here. Australia is probably the number one team. They have been over the years, multi-format. India did roll over England at the D.Y. Patil, but this is going to be another ball game for the simple reason that Australia have the spinners that will hurt you. Australia also have fast bowlers that can create an impact, and also they have batters who can bat against spinners on turning tracks. That was an issue when the England Test match happened. So all in all, Alyssa Healy coming in as captain for the first time for Australia. She big shoes to fill. Meg Lanning, legend. But what I like about Alyssa Healy is that she seems to be her own person. She knows what the shoes she's stepping into, but yet she's holding her own. She's talking about the fact that her vision is taking Australia forward. She's played a lot with Meg Lanning, but she'll also have her own way of doing things. That's always the case. We've seen that with Mahendra Singh Dhoni. When he left, the captains that came later had that pressure of living up to that expectation, but all of them held their own. So similarly, England, as far as Australia is concerned, they have won the toss. The news is, and they've elected to bat. The pitch, I'm told, looks nice and green. Should be a really good one. But the red soil at the Wankhede they'll always have a little bit of something for the spinners as the game rolls on. So pace and bounce early on, and after that, the spinners will come into play. If Australia bat well in this one, then India will be up against it. But I am hoping that the Indian seamers on this sort of a pitch will create an impact, because they've been really good. And early on at Wankhede in the month of December, there will always be some help for the fast bowlers, and there is a tinge of grass. So good to see. Cracking game coming up.